I get people asking me all the time, how do you make your salads and what do you use for dressing? So hopefully I will save this video so that when somebody asks me that, I can then share this video with them. I've come to the realization that I've not made a salad with you all in a while. So I'm going to show you today how I make them. I'm also going to include how I do the dressing. The reason why I'm doing that is because I have people ask me, hey, are you not eating salad dressing? And you bet your bippy I am. So I'm going to just make the whole thing right in front of you. So, and this way, I'll save this in my playlist. And then if people ask about my salad, all I have to do is show them this one and they can see how I make it. Let me get rid of this excess trash just a second here. Okay, so I was watching Chef Jean-Pierre, and he says that when you cut an onion, you need to cut it pole to pole. That's not how I've done onions, so I'm just going to try it. And so, you got to put your first slice, and so I'm going to go ahead and dice this up. But I don't recall him... I don't know. We'll just see what happens here. So I'm going to put it over there. Okay, so he says pole to pole. He said you only cut the other way if you're making onion rings. And so we're just going to try his method. We're making our little dealies. And then he said, so then I guess that makes long strips. Well, then I'm going to cut them in half because I don't want long strips. So I guess that allows me to do that maybe. I have no idea. Chef Jean-Pierre, I'll have to watch you a little closer. And then he says you cut and cut and cut. And then he says you can tip it over and then do that and that. And that, I don't remember. Y'all, I do not remember. I'm going to have to watch him a little closer. But hang on, this one's getting a little bit sassy with me. I want to keep my fingers. Come here, fella. Don't be so... There. All right. Listen, if you're seeing this video, just know... I have my fingers and toes and nothing was cut off. I always preface that because Terry, maybe this is what he does, and then he goes back and chops it like I'm doing. I don't know. Anyway, I always tell you all I have my fingers and toes because editing Terry sometimes gets worried whenever I watch myself. I'm like, girl, you're looking a little bit reckless there. So I like to share with you all that I am safe. Everything's... No! Don't eat that. That ain't for you. They say onions are poisonous to dogs, so don't give your dogs onions. Let's see, I used to be able to blurt this out. Onions, mushrooms, grapes, raisins, and chocolate. Don't give those to your dogs. The chocolate can... It just makes their heart race because they're not used to that caffeine. So, all right. Anyway, hang on. Let me get this set aside. Next up is my Hikma. So, Hikma is one of those that's very difficult to peel. So, I'll show you what I've been doing lately. It's going to be difficult to show you, but Hikma is... Hang on. Come on, Terry. You can do this. You can do it, girl. You can do it. Be smarter than the Hikma. All right. So Hikma is it's a root vegetable, and what I've been doing lately is I do that, and then I just go, wah, and then I take this kind of knife. Let me just set you over there. I put a glove on when I do Hikma. Hikma has a very weird texture. It is it's slick. That's the best way for me to describe it. It's a very slick vegetable. And so when I get it on my hands, even though after I wash them, you know how you touch something and you can wash it off. It's after I wash my hands, after touching Hikma, it's still on my hands. So it's very weird texture, and I don't like that. So I just throw on a glove. Because even when I wash my hands, then it's still there. Look at me. I always say that if I would have been a child of the Depression, I would have been sold first, because I could not have peeled a potato and not had all the stuff on it. Like, you know, all the skin attached, all the meat attached to skin. Anyway, I'm going to do this other one. I'll be right back. I've used Hikma over the years for a whole lot of different things. I've used it for as a bean replacement if I have cooked it in the pressure cooker. I have used it on my salads. I've used it as a fries. I've tried to make it into air fried fries. Hikma is kind of versatile, but is that the word, versatile or versatile? Anyway, whatever the word is, you know what I mean. Read my mind, not the words coming out of my mouth. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? That's from was it 40? Not 48 Hours. I can't remember the movie. Anyways, had Chris Rock in it. So, but Hikma, it's either on the sweeter side when it's really fresh, or it's a little more earthy. So let's see what this one is. It's not super duper white. Like if it's about the color of this plate, it's really good. Yeah, that's all right. It has the texture of, what's that stuff called? Oh, water. Is it watercress or water chestnuts? Anyway, it has that texture. But it's just something that's kind of fun. And it's a different texture because it's a vegetable. But it almost is sweet. It's called the pear of the vegetables. So, anyway. So, yeah. That's your lesson on Hikma. But I like it on my salads. Oftentimes, if it's not super fresh, I don't put it on my salads right away. I will do it separately, because if it goes yucky, I've had that happen. And then I had to go in and pick out all of the Hikma off the salad. And, that's kind of hard to do. But this one seems pretty doggone fresh. When I was looking at them, the gentleman in the produce section, I said, "Sir, do you know how to tell a fresh Hikma?" And he said, "No, but I know I put them out yesterday, so they're fresh." I said, "Good enough, thank you." So, all right, now I'm going to get my containers out and we'll get our salad going. I started making these in bulk when I was calorie counting and keto. The reason, actually, yeah, you all had suggested it. I was making them every night, but one of y'all was like, "Why don't you just make them all in one day and then you don't have to make them every night?" I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm telling you, if you are not in my comment section, you are missing out. Because what I used to do, so when I'm in weight loss mode, I set each one on the scale and I weigh out exactly how much whatever is going in it. Because, so first I will take I'll take the scale. Hang on, I'll show you. So I set an empty one on there at the very beginning. I zero it out, and we'll say my goal is 100 grams of cabbage. I don't know what it is, I'm just saying. So, or 200, whatever. I set it on there, and then I add cabbage. Okay, it's 106 grams. Add some. That's 100. That's 93 grams. Do the next one. 94. 74. I better put a little one in there. 80 something. And 110. We'll pull a little out of that one. So that's how I would do it. Then I say, because I had a goal for how much of each vegetable I wanted in there. So then I got that in there. I zero it out and I say, all right, I want 30 grams of Hikma. I don't know. I'm just saying. So, okay, 48 grams, close enough. And then I say, zero this one out. And I say, all right, 62 grams. And except I'm a little more accurate. And then, so that is how I do it when I'm in weight loss mode and I'm tracking exactly what I'm putting in my mouth. So, anyway, so that's how I do it. I build everything on the scale. And by doing it ahead of time like I do, then on meal day, eating day, Terri doesn't have to do nothing. All she has to do is carry yesterday's food, yesterday's salad, over to today, and there it is. So that's because you all know I ain't about that life of typing everything in. If you type it in on Monday, and you have a salad every day, because the app I use, you can just copy and paste from day to day to day. And so I'm definitely about that life. So I do have some red onion that I cut up last weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. I'll just have to remember which ones I put it in. So there's some. Actually, I'll just put it in 2 if I can. All right. So now, and I'll have some red onion left over, which is good because I want some. Because I got something else I want to put it in. And I'll just sprinkle some onions. Boy, you're going to have some stinky pee that day. You better chill out, sister. Alright. Does anybody else's urine, if you drink a lot of, or eat a lot of onions, you know how asparagus affects your urine? After you eat a lot of onions, maybe most people don't eat as many onions as I do. But anyway, so if I eat a bunch of onions, I find that my urine smells like onions. And then I'm like, is that my crotch or what? Shut up, y'all. Just shut up. You know I'm a nurse and I'll talk about bodily fluids and functions. I don't care. Last week, I had cut up a rutabaga. I did not buy another one this week. And I cut up into about salad-ish size bites. So, I'm also going to go ahead and add this and be done. Then I won't have to try to remember every night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, when I'm tracking, I set it on the scale and I make sure they're within 10, we'll just say 10 grams, okay? I'm comfortable with being off by 10. Let me find a home for these onions and I'll be right back. If you're somebody who misses that crunch or croutons, you could add pork rinds to them. You could add whatever you want to them and make them be just how you want them. I'm done with them. So at this stage, again, this is something you all taught me because you all are amazing. So like I always say, I did not grow up in the kitchen. I was too high strung and hyper, so my mom always sent me outside because I was, what are you doing, Mom? What's that for? Well, let me see, Mom. Let me do this, Mom. I was like, and plus I wouldn't have even wanted to be in the kitchen. So you all taught me to put this paper towel over my veggies and then put my lid on it and turn it upside down. And the reason why you do it on top, because at first I put it on the bottom and then you all said no, put it on the top. The reason why you put it on the top is so on the day that you're ready to take it out and do something with it, because when it's on bottom, then you got to dig in there and try to get it out. But now, on the day I want to use it, all I got to do is pop it open and take this towel off. This is actually collecting the excess moisture that the veggies produce, and this makes these salads last all week. Like I said, sometimes I don't put the jicama on there or the rutabaga until the night before. It just depends on how good I feel about it. I do not ever put tomatoes on it when I'm making them because tomatoes are so sketch. You know, sometimes you get them and it's like, no. So let's just talk about how I do my salads. So, well, hang on. Let me put these away and I'll tell you what I do. Just a second. So before I can make a salad, we need to get our dressings together. I'm going to open all these. I'll be right back. So the reason why I choose what I choose is, for one, I like the flavor of the Thousand Island. And that's all. I know it's a bunch of chemicals. All this is chemicals, but this is what I like. So I do an 80-20 clean. Anyway, so I use G. Hughes Polynesian dipping sauce, that Thousand Island, and G. Hughes honey mustard dipping sauce. I use this because 2 tablespoons of this is 20 calories. 2 tablespoons of this is 10. So these are all, and this is 0. This is all low calorie. So if I'm going to try to get it to, hang on, what's the top number? 24. I'm going to go to around 12 ounces. It's not science. I don't care which one I have more of. I don't care what I have less of. I just am going to just pour some in. Pour some in. This is just my favorite blend. You don't have to do it. You do what you like. And then pour some in. Wait, where's my 12? Is that 12? Yeah. I'm going to put my thumb on the 12 so I can see. Come on, feller. Alright. So now, I top it off with water. Reason being is I like a lot of dressing. And I like dressing on every bite. So if I were to just leave it thick like this, then I'm stuck at 2 tablespoons. But by watering it down and making it half dressing, half water, first off, it gets on every bite. And second off, I can have 4 tablespoons and only have the 20 calories. You see what I'm saying? So I can have more for fewer calories. So I'm going to top this off with water. I'll be right back. Usually, I just do this in one of these bottles, and, you know, I use up part of a bottle, and that's good enough. But I've been thinking about it. I'm like, you know, I'd like something bigger that I can have more in. I've also done it in a mason jar, too. And then I shake it up. Like I said, I just think this is going to be a lot better. I've done the little squirty things, but the problem with that is they're like about a very small amount. So if I use this and use as much as I use, then I have to refill it a lot. All right, let's slide this down. Let's go on and make my salad. Give me just a second. I want to wipe things off. Okay, so in the evening time before, you know, as I'm getting my stuff ready for the next day, it doesn't matter what seasoning I use. I don't use seasoning before I make it because I don't want that salt to make it be like draw out the water and I don't want to do that. So you see, I just take off the little thing. All my stuff's here. I don't turn on the scale yet. I go on and put whatever seasoning on it. That's a little bit of garlic clovers, a little seasoning salt, maybe a little bit of everything, bagel. Sometimes I use Greek seasoning. You just use whatever seasoning you like on your salad, but always season it. I learned that is what restaurants do. They season the salad before they bring it to you. I bought a jar of sweet pickle relish, or sweet pickles, no sugar added sweet pickles, no sugar added bread and butter chips. I ran this through my, what you call that thing? My blender, but and now I have apples. I have pickle sauce. Very watery. I don't care. But this one is not as watery, so I didn't pour any of the water. I poured some of the water out of this one, but I did that because I love that flavor, and I have not. My store quit selling the no sugar added relish, so. That's the texture. So the night before, I take like a tablespoon. Nope, let me show you. Turn it on. Zeroed it out. Put it on there. Say you're saying, okay, I want 1 serving. Serving is 28 grams. Bingo. Got it. All right. Then you zero it out and say, I want another 1 serving. So what's 1 serving of this? 28 grams. So you go, oh, that's not enough. Oh, a little bit more. There you go. So you say, I got 28 grams in there. And then you hit this little 0. And you've already known how much you want of your dressing because you've already plugged it in. And you already know, like I actually, once I figured it all out, I actually used to keep a thing up here on my wall, up on my cabinet of gratitude. I had a thing that told me exactly cabbage this much, onions this much. So I had it written down so I knew when I made my salads exactly how much I needed. And dressing, blah, blah, blah. So, you know I'm going to lick that lid. So you zero it out and you say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and add, I don't know, if a serving was 30 grams. So I'm like, well, I'm doubling it because it's half and half. So I'm going to go for 40 grams. You go, and there you go. Then you say, okay, I'm allowed, I don't know how much tomatoes. Listen, I ain't going to add these tomatoes because something has exploded. Well, there's a couple. No, they're sticky. I ain't adding these, I'm tossing them. But you could say I'm adding, I don't know. Oh, hang on.
Your laundry timer is done.
My timer's done. Hang on. You can say, all right, I'm going to add in 60 grams of tomato. You plop them on there. And there you go. You are ready to put your little lid on it. You've got it ready for the next day. And you pop it in the refrigerator and you'll pull this out and take it to work with you. That's it. So that is how I make my salads every day for work. I just wanted to show you.